What's going on today, everybody? It's your boy Mark D. Sanchez. I'm going to talk to you about global warming today. And I'm not going to talk to you about the effect that cars have or cows burping. And it's not cow farts, by the way. It's cow burps when they eat the straw. The methane forms in their stomachs and it comes right back out their mouth while they're eating, so it's a burp. But we're going to talk more about things like heat vents, volcanoes, the sun, the earth fluctuating because of the sun, and mainly volcanoes. And this one is volcanoes that are in Antarctica, the ice that everybody's not wanting to melt. As you see here, is a very large crater, very obvious crater, and how tall the volcano is anybody's guess because the base is under ice. Here's another one that's got a 0.9, almost a 1 mile crater. That last one was a mile and a half wide. I forgot to mention that. Now, if you go on Google Earth, don't go to ground level, go zoom down to the ground and pan up. You're probably going to be too close to the object, you'll have to back away from it, zoom in some more, tilt your camera up again, and you'll be able to see these volcanoes from a side view instead of from an over top view, and it'll give you more of a sense of what's going on. Now, there's yet another crater, another volcano. I keep clicking the little tabs off. I took note. Most all these, the smallest was 0.9 and the largest is 5 miles across, and that's the crater. The volcanic crater itself is 5 miles. This one is 1.4 mile wide crater. I believe I measured the base of this is sticking out of the snow, and it's this narrow part is 16 miles wide, and obviously it's a very long range, so it's probably 100 miles long if you look down through the rest of the range. But just the width of this volcano with the crater is 16 miles wide at the base. Now here's still yet another one, and as you can see, it's like the other typical ones in Antarctica. You can tell it's a mountain, you can tell it's a crater, and it's filled with snow. There's no real data anywhere to find out when these last erupted, or what kind of earthquake activity might be going on. To me, this looks like a fault line. I have this yellow line drew on here so that y'all could get a little bit of a fix on how these are running in a line. It seems to me like it's a fault line. If you notice that yellow line, I got it just running roughly along where they're all at. Now this is not sticking out of the ground, and my little marker says 2.5, but I measured wrong when I went back and measured it. That is 5 miles wide, and you can see the shadow behind it. To me, I believe that is smoke, and they got it covered up, steam. Now this is a chain of probably tectonic plate action causing volcanic islands. As you see, if you just go and look straight at them, they're a blotch of just plain white and plain black. But when you use that zoom down and tilt your camera up method, you can look at it like this. Now this is one of the other 7 islands. It is made completely of floating sea ice, well, except for this little side right here that looks like regular snow. The rest of that mountain, if you'll look at it, it's chunks of sea ice, thousands of feet up into the air, forming a mountain. It's just like using a white cover-up or a black cover-up. But instead of using that for the cover-up, whatever is actually there, they covered up with chunks of sea ice, which it's crazy. Now this one, if you look, I've looked at a lot of lava, and this is hardened, cooled off lava, covering like a dead straight line halfway across the mountain. Now if you'll look, you remember what happened in Hawaii? That right there is lays. It's lava and creating steam going into the salt water. They call it haze or lays. It forms an acid and glass particles when it enters the water, but you can see that they left that part uncovered. And here's another set. Some of these islands are 2 islands, but I still refer to them as a set of 7 because these 2 are together, so I count them as 1. And again, you notice if you look at it from up above, there's a little bit of an island they don't have covered up, but then the rest of it is covered in black, where you can't see anything. Now this one has a regular mountain in the back. It's not covered up, but over to the left side, it's covered over in white. And that's normally in Antarctica, if they cover something up, they just use plain white, you know. It blends in with the snow and you can't tell anything's been covered up. Well, other than the squiggly lines here, you can see that I've lost all my definition because of either a white cover-up or very thick smoke. I can't really see anything to indicate smoke, so I might have to say that it's just a white cover-over. And that little message is telling me that Google Earth is not allowing me to see that image. Well, I've got news for them. I'm looking at that image, and this one, I don't know what that message is. Now this one, look at it, there's lines all around it. Lava flow lines, I mean, they're all over it, and they've got this white cap cover over it that looks like clouds, and most definitely are not clouds. And this is the main thing. This is what I think all 7 of them look like. I want y'all to take a look at this. When you zoom down real close to the ground, say 1,000 feet from the ground and tilt up, this is the middle island in the chain of islands. I doubt that y'all can see that. I tried to get you coordinates, but you can find this by eye. You don't need these coordinates. Just go to South America and Antarctica, go to the tails. Most continents seem to have a tail on them, but between the 2 tails of South America and Antarctica, you'll see this lump that looks like a tongue under the water. This right here is lava. It's a lava flow with the ice breaking off into it, and you can't see it down there at the bottom of my board, but the imagery date for this, I've been mistaken. I thought it was 2015. It's from 2003, 16 years ago, and they haven't changed the picture yet. I mean, I looked at it 3 years ago, and on the screen it said 2015, but down at the bar it said 2003, and that smoke coming out of the hole where it's going most likely down into the ocean water and making that laze, that thick bundle of smoke that's just roaring up out of this hole. And y'all can go to Google Earth and look at this for yourself. I don't know that this is still active. I don't know that it's gotten worse or better. But when you look at it at the right angle, I'm gonna do a video on just this island. That smoke goes out into the ocean for miles, and it's a blowout on the side of the mountain pouring down at an angle, and it is smoking all around it. Whenever they took these pictures, it was very, very active. That smoke is, you can still see it now miles out into space, so this right here is me zooming out slow so y'all could get a fix on where to go. Now y'all not gonna have these little dots to go by, because those are my pins, but right there's Antarctica and the tip of South America, and it's right in between them. Y'all can't miss it. Well, anyway, it's my theory that with the center of the earth being filled with nothing but molten lava, and it coming to the surface through heat vents in the ocean, volcanoes, and causing earthquakes. This right here is one major contributor to global warming, especially melting Antarctica. When you got hundreds of volcanoes on Antarctica, then you can't really fight them,